So some examples that say, in order to maximize profit based on the resources that you have, right? How many things should you order? In order to minimize costs, right? What properties should you, just say you have your landlord, you have all these rentals, you know how much you make from each rental, right? They're all bad. Which ones should you fix? How many of them each should you fix in order to minimize your costs? You see what I'm saying? So you know what you're trying to do. I don't want to maximize something, minimize something, or meet something exactly. And the question is, what's the combination of things? Okay. It'll make sense as soon as when I start talking about it. So I found a really good online tutorial for how to do Solver. In the PowerPoint or in the slides is going to be here. And I think that, do you guys have internet there? Does everyone have internet? Please check, so that way you guys can work at the same time. You said what? You guys have internet? So I'm just going to email the slides to you guys right now. Oh, you know what? Just log into Blackboard actually.
You said the sales forecast?
Just log into Blackboard. I'm gonna upload it right now. It should be there now. And this is the slides from the last class. Well, tell me as soon as you guys see it. Oh, sales report. Do you see it? It's called sales forecast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so please open those slides so that way we can have access to the same document. And guys, tell me when to keep going, okay?
So you want us to open and click the Word document?
Yeah. Click Word document so that way we can follow the same instructions. Yeah?
Did you just load the PowerPoint?
Yeah, so I just loaded it. So sales forecast. And open the PowerPoint in there and double click on the Word document on slide 4. Thumbs up. I know, Leah, you have it open, but anyone else? Matsula, you're good? Hands? Good. Jasmine, Nisi, Nicole, you guys are good? Okay. Alex, tell me when. I'm sorry?
I'm working on it. The internet's being slow.
Okay. James, you have it open?
I'm working. The internet's slow.
Okay. So just log into Blackboard. There's a PowerPoint that I put, or if you don't, you can actually follow me by looking at the screen if you want to just open Excel, because we have to keep going. Alright, so Solver, Excel includes a tool called Solver for solving linear equations. And the problem that I just described to you, where you have like one solution, multiple things that lead up to that solution, it's really called a linear equation. So for you to add Solver, Solver doesn't come in your Excel automatically. It's an add-on that you can put in there, but it's really useful. So especially if you want to start a business, being able to make these decisions would be really critical. So you're going to go to File on your Excel, go down to Options. At the bottom, you're going to see Add-in, second to the last one. Add-in. You guys see that? So hit, do you have anything called Solver here? Solver add-in, then hit Go. You should see these things here, 4 check boxes, check Solver add-in. Then hit OK. If you go under data, do you see Solver at the very end here? Oh, yeah, you're shaking your head. Oh, okay.
You check off the box.
Just one, just Solver. And this is also, obviously, it's a what if analysis tool as well. So it kind of goes in the same umbrella as what we've been doing. You guys good? Okay. So we already have Solver downloaded. So now we're going to create this spreadsheet right here. So this is, let me describe the spreadsheet to you, right? So this is a person who wants to sell bicycles, mopeds, and child seats, right? The profit, if he sells a bicycle, he makes $100. If he sells a moped, he makes $300. If he sells a child seat, he makes $50. Is that clear so far? Okay. Now, for each bicycle, it's going to cost him $300 of capital to buy, because you have to buy it, right? It's going to cost him $300 to buy a bicycle. It's going to cost him $1,200 to buy a moped. It's going to cost him $120 to buy a child seat. Is that clear? Everyone? I really need you guys to understand what these numbers mean, so that way we can get what we're doing and why we're doing it. Okay? So you understand? For a bicycle, he's going to profit $100, $350, just the profit. For him to buy it, remember, if you have a store, you have to buy it first with some money before you make some profit on it, right? Bicycles cost $300, mopeds cost $1,200, and child seats cost $120. Is that clear so far? Okay. Now, because he has a store, right? He has a physical store. How much space is one thing going to take? Remember, he has only limited space. He can't buy the whole world and jam it into the store, right? So a bicycle is going to take 0.5 whatever. Let's call it cubic feet, right, of space. Moped is going to take 1, and a child seat is going to take 0.5. Is that clear? So far as space. Now, he has 93,000 so far, the total money that he can spend on this thing, on his entire investment. That's the total money he has. And he only has 101 cubic feet of space available. Is that clear? So this is the profits, this is the money he has, this is the money each one costs, this is the space each one takes. This is the total money he has, and this is the total space that he has. Now, what I'm trying to say, given the money we have available, right? Given the space we have available, how many bicycles, how many mopeds, and how many child seats do we need to order in order to maximize our profit? Do you guys understand that problem? How many of each do I need to order? Given that I only have this money available, given that I only have this space available, how many of each do I need to order in order to maximize my profit? Okay, so that's the problem. So now please go ahead and start create the spreadsheets, and all these things here are just numbers. So let's see. If you have it, you guys can still see it, right? So let's say cycle trader. Make this bigger if you want to. Okay, so in cell B3, notice the spacing. All right, I mean you can do the spacing however you want, but then the formulas are not going to be exact. So notice the spacing. The unit profit is in B4. The word unit profit is in B4. So let's see unit profit. Okay, then up here you have bicycles, if I can spell, mopeds, and then you leave 2 spaces. Then 2 more spaces, or 3 in order size. And all these things are aligned center, so feel free to align them center. And so far as the formatting, the color of the cell, this cell looks like a blue, but the font is white. You guys see that? And then it has a border around it. So let's see, where is it? Okay. This looks like whatever it is, like a teal. I'm not gonna worry too much about the color. Try to make it teal if you can't, whatever. All right, put the border around it. This is yellow. What? I haven't figured out how to do that. Just put less than or equal to. I actually tried to do it yesterday, but I couldn't figure it out. I think you know what? I think I actually know how to do it. It's gonna be insert symbol.
Where is that going? I don't see it on the.
Right here.
Oh, I can't see
Yeah, so we can do insert symbol. Yeah, I was just too lazy to actually. Right there it is. So resources.
it. So that goes in H.
Yes, it's going to be going H7 and H8. Resources used. Let's just align everything center.
You found that in.
It's going to be in
Less than or
it's
equal?
going to be resources symbol. So right here, I'm not resource insert
Oh, okay.
all the way up to the end.
Oh.
Symbol here. See it?
More or less than equal.
Yeah. Why? And I think if you just drag it down to take it down. Thank you, Alex, for making me do that and just not being lazy. Just and copying out. Okay. And then resources available. I have 93, 000, 101. And just copy the format of this one right here. Oh no, okay, don't don't cancel. So you can do a home format painter and just do it here. Alright, so that way it looks exactly the same. And total profit here. Let that be 0. And this one is also blue. Okay. Are you guys with me? Hold on, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it if I make it smaller, but
No. Did you use,
hands if you're good. Like, don't be shy. Hands. I see 3. Where's everyone else stuck at?
did you just border those figures?
Yeah, I bordered them, and by bordering, I just did font in the font section, and it's going to be outside borders.
On the color section.
I'm sorry? On all the colored sections, yes.
Okay.
Are we good?
All good. Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. So now what the next thing they ask to do is to make it easier for you to make the oh, I didn't mean to do that for those in the video. Alright, so to make it easier, right, we have to name different things so that way we can refer to things by their names. Alright, instead of just by the cells. So let's call C4 through E4. Let's call that unit profit. So C4 right here, right, through E4. You guys remember have to name things up here. Call that unit profit. Pay attention to the casing, pay attention to no spaces. Big U, big P, unit profit. Or, I don't care, you don't have to name it exactly what mine looks like. Just know what you name yours. So when you're doing your formula, you have to use your own name. Alright? If I were you, I would just name it exactly like mine, so that way your formula will look exactly like mine. Okay? So, what else did they ask for? They said, call C12 through E12. Call that order size. Alright? Alright? Next one. Call G7 through G8. Resources used. Which is here, right? I mean, by just naming the things, giving them actual names so far as the names under here. So let's call that resources used.
So you said first C4 through E4?
Yeah, so C4 through E4, call that unit profit. Do C12 through E12, call that order size. Do F7 through F8, call that resources used. Then do H7 to H8. Guess what that is? Resources available. And we're just naming them, right? What they are, like the actual headings above them. So resources available.
No space, right?
No space. No space. Finally, well, you have the 0 right here. Guess what we're going to name it? Total profit. Alright, so for you to verify all the names that you have created, press Control and F3 you should see 5 different things that look exactly like mine. If you don't, you're missing your names.
Do what again?
Control F3. Your list should look like mine. Okay, moving on. So now it says put these formulas here in these 3 places. Alright, so the resources used, they're calculated by doing the sum product of all the, this is C right here, right? To order size. So how do you know the resources that you've used so far as money? You're doing the sum product of this, right? And this. Does that make sense? You're really doing, for you to know how much you have actually spent, is 300 times the number of bicycles you bought, plus 1,200 times the number of mopeds you bought, plus blah. You get what I'm saying? That's a sum product. It's this times this times this plus this times this plus this times this. And that's what we're going to do. For now, even after we put in the formula, it's going to say 0. You know why, right? Because we haven't ordered anything yet. Does that make sense? No? Yes. Okay. So this is equal to sum product, all right, of drag this C. Do you see that? C7 through E7, comma. Instead of dragging this right, you can drag these right here, or you can just type order size. Remember, you already named it, right? That's another benefit of naming things. You can just type them, and Excel will know where to go pick it up. Double click, close parentheses, and enter. It should say 0.
So you said sum product.
Right up here.
C, and then comma order size.
Yes.
Just all of it. C12 to E12. Right.
Why do you have C12 through E12?
I'm saying when I
Yeah. Order size, because again, you want to do the amount of money you've spent is really number of bicycles, number of cost of each bicycle times how many bicycles you bought, right? Plus number of how much each moped costs times how many mopeds you buy, plus child seats times number of child seats you bought. For now, it's going to be 0 because we haven't purchased anything yet. Yes.
The other side, we make the 0, 0, don't drag the 0 and name it other sides, right?
Yeah. So we already named this one order size. This
I
type.
didn't name it. That's what I'm trying to ask you.
Yeah. So name it your
C12 to
E12. So drag it across like this,
okay, I see.
and it should say order size up here.
I missed where you were.
Can I move on?
What are you doing?
Huh?
The
What?
capital storage, did we name it?
We didn't name any store. We didn't name the capital and storage.
What about the unit?
So these are the names we have now. Control F3. These are the names we have. This file.
Yeah, I didn't have a unit. I have the resource.
Available and used.
I have available, I don't have it.
Okay. So you need to have 5 of them.
Okay, so they are available.
Hands if you're good. Yes.
When you click on add settings, I did one again.
Okay. Right here.
Okay, I got it.
So for what you're going to just drag it down to the next cell. And that's just going to do the same thing but with C8 and E8. Because we want to say how much storage have we used, which is this times this.
What about it?
But it's C8 through E8.
Yes.
Unit profit too, right?
Unit profit too, yes. So you have do unit profits as C4 through E4.
Right.
Do order size as C12 through E12. Do resources used, which is F7 and F8, so F7 through F8. Do resources available, which is H7 through H8. And then do total profit, which is H12. Remember, no spaces in between anything. No spaces. Are you good, Austin? Everyone else good? Hands if you're good. Okay. Now, we're going to do the formula for total profit. What is that? Sum product of what? Unit profit, which is the profit you're going to make on each, right? Multiplied by how many you actually have. Is that clear, the formula? Okay. So, this is equal to sum product of... Remember, we already named all these things, right? So we don't need to drag it anymore. Just start typing unit profits, and it's going to pop up. Double click unit profit and order size. Double click. Close parentheses and enter. It should still say 0. We haven't ordered anything.
Yeah, what's the formula? The formula.
Order size.
No, spacing.
No spacing. You don't type. When you start typing, your drop down should come up. Should show. Double click on your drop down so that way you can get exactly what you named it. Okay. Let's see.
The formula is case sensitive.
I would just if you start typing it, enter. It's right because you showed you double clicked this when it came up, right?
No, I just typed it.
As long as if it takes it, then you're fine.
Alright.
Okay, moving on. So now we have all our formulas set up, right? Let's start playing. Under normal circumstances, what we do? We'll start guessing, right? You'll start saying maybe if I order 20 bicycles, right? Okay. I make 2,000 profit. I still have much more resources. See, I heard under 100 mopeds. So the more when you start to change these numbers, I order 50 child seats. So you start to see the 50 child seats. You see, I just shot over how much money I have and how much space I have. Do you guys see that? So now the point of solver is you can guess all you want to guess. But as a human being, you do not have the ability to guess the perfect combination to maximize your profit. You just don't. All right? So that's where solver comes in. Solver is going to play with all the numbers and come up with a solution. So how do we set up solver? We're going to say, go to data, hit solver. Okay, so your objective is this cell right here. Objective is this cell, H12. What do you want to do to H12? You want to maximize it. Right? You want to maximize your profit. Do you guys get that? Okay? Remember, if it's something like cost, right? You probably want to minimize your cost. Or maybe you only have $10,000 and you want to spend exactly $10,000. Then you can say value of 10,000. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, what are we going to be changing? Here, it says by changing these variables right here. So C12 through E12. Yes? Are you guys with me? Okay.
Changing variable cells.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you know what? What you can do is here, you can just type total profit. Type the name so that way we know you have the names correctly. Total profit, you want to maximize total profit by changing order size. And you should take it perfectly as well. Alright? However, do we have constraints? Because we don't have unlimited money and unlimited space, right? Whatever Excel comes up with, it can never exceed these my resources available. So subject to the constraints, I'm going to say add. Alright? All you have to just say resources used. Because remember, you already named it. That's why we named all these things, so that way we didn't have to keep clicking. Alright? Must be less than or equal to resources available.
How did you get there? Did you use
Hit
the
add.
from the solver?
Yes. See, no, here, type total profit. here, type order size, because you want to maximize total profit by changing the order size. And we're going to add the constraints right here. Yes. Mhm. You named it, this seems like you named it wrong, right?
Yeah, but like when I check it,
Everyone good? Okay, so hit add, the add button right there. Okay, so then hit cancel. It should look like this. So you want to maximize your total profit by changing the numbers in the order size. And your constraint is your resources used has to be less than or equal to resources available. This has to make sense to you guys in English for you guys to get what I'm doing in Excel. Alright? And so solver method, make it a simple linear programming. So do simplex LP.
My quick is to say seven sometimes to say.
Okay. Did you type this correctly? Big S. Is that how you named it?
So it is case sensitive.
It is case sensitive. Add. Resources. Where's your R? Hit add.
Maybe this one's.
Cancel.
Maybe this one's.
Cancel. Wait. Control F3. Expand these. Expand the names. Go here. This is what you named it. No, don't edit. Just know what you named it so that way you can put it correctly. You guys good?
Yep.
Hit solve. So it says solver found a solution. All constraints and optimality are satisfied. Keep solver solution. Yes, you can either keep it or you can restore the original values. Let's say keep it, okay? Do you see we have a solution? Solver figured out a way to use up all the money exactly. All the space exactly. But for me to do that, I have to order 94 bicycles and 54 mopeds, but no child seats. Do you guys see that? Which is why solver is so good, because solver is smart enough that it can do all the combinations in the world in seconds. What if I wanted to make a profit of? What if I want to make a profit of? This is 25.6, right? It maximizes. If I say I want to make a profit of $30,000, which is not possible. Remember that, right? So solver has maximized my profit by using up all my resources. And it says the maximum profit I can get is 25,600. Do you guys get that so far? Now, what if I decided to, see if I do solver again, what if I said I wanted to make $30,000 in profit? What do you think solver would do? Tell me I can't, right? So it says solver cannot find a feasible solution. It's not possible. But the reason I know that is because I've already maximized it before. Chances are, if I didn't know that, that would be I wouldn't have been able to do that, right? What if I'm just being modest and say, you know what, I only want to make $10,000 for this year. I don't want to make all that money. I just want to make $10,000. So let's see. Cancel. Solver, let's say 10,000 or 15,000.
Are we changing it, or are you just?
No, you change it so you can see it. Solver found a solution. Okay. You say 15,000. Just order 15 mopeds and you make 15,000 exactly. Okay, so let's play with it a little bit more. Do you guys understand what's happening?
I missed the whole second.
So the second, what I did in the second one, I'm saying with this, I instead of maximizing my profit, I want to make only $15,000, and I just solve it. So value of 15,000. Okay,
And
so
then just hit solve.
just hit solve, and solver will find a solution. Hit OK on it. So what if I have a minimum order? Remember, sometimes, let's say I have a store, right? And I say I want to be able to have at least this on hand. All right? So let's say minimum order. Okay? So how many bicycles do you want us to have minimum? Assuming you had a store. Numbers, guys. So let's say I want to have a minimum of 30 bicycles on hand. All right? I want to have a minimum of, let's say, 10 mopeds. And a minimum of, like, what? 20 child seats. Do you guys see this? Let's say I have to have a minimum order. So, cover all this. Name this minimum order. And if you do Control F3, you should see minimum order should appear. 30, 10, and 20. Now, you guys are going to solve for me, right? How do I maximize my total profit while keeping account of the resources I have available and making sure that my order size is greater than or equal to my minimum order? Does that make sense? How do I maximize my profit while keeping in mind my resources available and the minimum order I have to have on hand? Solver, okay, so how do you get Solver to do it? Someone tell me. So I said maximize, right? What did I do with the minimum order? What did I add? As what? As a constraint, okay? So what do I hit? Add or change? Okay. What do I type? Order size has to be greater than or equal to minimum order. I'm going to add that constraint, and I'm going to OK on it. Okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm going to cancel. Okay, now I have two constraints. I'm going to solve.
Cancel it and then.
It's going to.
And then solve it.
Okay.
But that is the.
Do you guys see now? Solver found me a solution. Solver actually figured out a way to use up all the money and all the space. But you see my profit is just slightly less. Right? So Solver is extremely smart. That's the point of all this. You can give Solver as many constraints as you want to. And again, this will come in handy if you own a business and you want to say, how much inventory do I need to have on hand to maximize my profits? That's the reason why you have a business, to maximize your profits. Alright? And you can have an unlimited number of constraints, and Solver will tell you exactly what you need to do. Is that clear? You guys understand this? Is anyone confused about what Solver does? That's it. Turn it into Blackboard. That's your homework.
Yeah, mine.
Yes.
Do you want us to have done what we just did?
Yes.
Okay, can you go over that? Okay.
Something about
Like I said, okay, so I want to maximize my profits, but on hand, I want to have at least 30 bicycles, at least 10 mopeds, and at least 20 child seats. I want to have that, right, on hand. Because remember the original solution, Solver said you can make all this money, but you won't have any child seats if you want to maximize. But I at least want to have a limited quantity of these things. Then maximize my profit, but bear in mind you must give me at least these things. Okay? So I said minimum order. I named this section here minimum order. Then I went to solver up here. I said maximize my total profit by changing order size. This was a constraint we had available. Remember, you cannot go over my resources. But what I did was I added another constraint, right? Which says that my order size has to be greater than or equal to my minimum order. Does that make sense in English? Okay. And then solve. And you should see 62, 60, 20. Alright? But again, solver just looks like a magical thing. If you don't understand it in English, all these things are wasted because you don't really understand how to apply it. Yes. You don't understand what?
I didn't get the numbers.
You shouldn't enter 62, 60, and 20 yourself. Solver should come up with that number. You didn't get those numbers? Okay. That's interesting. Does anyone else want to get 62, 60, and 20?
I get it.
Solver. Maximize. I-13. Did you call that total profit? And look at here. You say your order size has less than or equal to minimum wage. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
You know what should be on the concept of total profit?
Huh?
For the second
Put it on the
page
total
here,
profit.
But the total profit, the
Order.
constant.
The total,
Yeah, constant.
that's
you
not a
don't-
constraint.
I mean, you don't want to spend less than 25. The one that says you want to, like, minimize the amount of money you want to spend, they should go where you budget.
There wasn't really a budget, well, there was like resources used must be less, or less than or equal to resources available.
Yeah, what's that constant?
So turn that into Blackboard, guys. That's your
Just
assignment.
type in resources used, you add a constraint and type in resources used is less than or equal to resources available.
Which cell is